I still remember that night like it just happened. It was November 15, 1966, and I was with a group of friends just trying to enjoy a quiet evening. We were driving down the old, isolated roads on the outskirts of Point Pleasant. You know the ones. Dark, no streetlights, and nothing but trees and fields for miles. We'd heard the stories about the abandoned TNT plants, about how strange things happened around there, but we didn't believe it, not until we saw it ourselves. At first, it was just a shadow in the distance, standing in the middle of the road. We thought it was a deer, but as we got closer, we realized it was much bigger. I could barely breathe as I saw it, tall, like a man, but with wings folded tightly against its back. We slowed the car down, trying to figure out what the hell we were looking at. Then, those eyes. Those terrifying, glowing red eyes. They weren't like any animal I'd ever seen. They were intelligent, watching us. Almost like it was waiting for something. I wanted to scream, to tell my friend to turn the car around, but I was frozen. Out of nowhere, the creature spread its wings. They were enormous, at least 10 feet across, and it shot up into the air with a loud, whooshing sound. We panicked, hit the gas, and took off, but it was too late. The thing was following us. I could hear its wings flapping above us, and every time I looked up, I saw those red eyes in the rearview mirror, glaring down at us. It was like it was playing with us, staying just above the car, never letting us escape. We were going nearly 100 miles per hour down that winding road, but it never backed off. It stayed right above us the entire time, swooping closer and closer like it was waiting for the perfect moment. When we finally reached the lights of town, the thing suddenly veered off into the night, disappearing into the trees. For weeks, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was still watching me, waiting for me to go back out there. But then, on December 15, exactly 1 month later, something horrible happened. The Silver Bridge, the main connection over the Ohio River, collapsed during rush hour. 46 people died. People said they saw the Mothman around the bridge in the days leading up to the disaster, like it was some kind of omen. Or maybe it was worse than that. Maybe that Mothman had something to do with it. I don't know what we saw that night, but I'll never forget those red eyes. They've haunted my dreams ever since, and I've heard others say the same. Some say the Mothman is still out there, hiding in the shadows, waiting for the next disaster to strike. And if you ever find yourself on those back roads near the old TNT plant, don't look up. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is one of those stories that sticks with you. It haunts you the more you think about it. 9 experienced hikers, all young and healthy, set out on what was supposed to be a routine trip through the Ural Mountains. Led by Igor Dyatlov, they were well prepared and excited for the challenge. But what happened to them out there? Nobody knows, and maybe nobody wants to. It was days after they were supposed to return when the search parties were sent out. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but then they found the camp. Their tent was ripped open, but not in the way you'd expect from an attack. It was cut from the inside, like the hikers were trying to escape something. But what could make 9 experienced mountaineers panic so badly that they'd cut through their own shelter and run barefoot into the snow, leaving everything behind? As they searched further, they found the bodies. Some were huddled near the remnants of a fire, while others were found deeper in the forest, scattered, like they'd been running for their lives. Some of them were nearly naked, despite the freezing temperatures, but it's the condition of their bodies that makes the story so chilling. One had a fractured skull, another had broken ribs, but there were no external wounds. It was like something had crushed them from the inside. And then there was Ludmila. When they found her, she was missing her eyes and her tongue. The medical examiner couldn't explain it. There were no signs of a struggle, no animal tracks, nothing to suggest what could have done this to them. The mystery deepened when they examined the hikers' clothes. Some of their clothing was found to be radioactive. It made no sense. How could their clothes be contaminated out there in the middle of nowhere? The official explanation was hypothermia, maybe an avalanche, but the locals have their own theories. Some say it was a secret military experiment gone wrong. Others believe the hikers disturbed something ancient, something that doesn't like to be found. Some even think they were attacked by creatures not of this world. I don't know what to believe, but I do know this: whatever happened to them that night, it wasn't natural. To this day, no one has been able to explain what truly happened on that cold, lonely pass. Some say the area is cursed, and that strange thing still happens to anyone who ventures too close. The locals called it Dead Mountain for a reason. And even now, if you stand in the quiet snow of Dyatlov Pass, some people claim they can hear whispers carried on the wind, like the voices of the dead trying to tell their story. Both of these storylines are based on true events, so be careful where you go and try to think about the past of where you are going.